Loyd. He graduated from the University of Washington in 1940, and he had attended the University of NROTC. So he was immediately taken into the Navy. However, they had assigned him to Supply Corps School at Harvard in Boston, and that school didn't start until September. So he spent from June until September working in the Federal Building in Seattle, awaiting going back to Harvard. I was working at a bank in Rapid City, and again, it was wartime, and many of the young men in the bank were called into service. And I ended up working for a bunch of women that I couldn't please anybody. So I decided that I had a very good friend in Washington, D.C., and I also had friends in Bremerton, Washington. And when I approached my parents, my dad said, "You are not going to that big city on the East Coast." I said, "Okay, I'm going to Bremerton." And because of my background in banking, when I went down to the offices of the Navy Yard, they assigned me to the Navy Pay Office to work on pay for the men coming in and also the people that were stationed there. We would have huge drafts of sailors and officers too coming in from Alaska. They wanted to be paid immediately because as soon as they got their money, they could either go to town, to the city over in Seattle, or go home on leave. And so, because I was single, I worked many, many double shifts, getting paid, records straightened out, so that these men could be paid. Another aside on that, I would go out on the pay line with the officers, and if most of them had a lot of money coming because they did not draw very much pay while they were in Alaska. So I remember the pay officer pleading with some of these young sailors that maybe had $2,500, $3,000 due. Please take some cash, come over to the pay office in the morning, we'll cut a check for you for the rest. Well, there were two that I do remember specifically that wouldn't listen. They wanted it all right now. So that's the way they wanted it. That's the way they got it. They went to Seattle, and we learned the next day, 2 days after that both of those men were rolled and they lost every penny that they had worked for. But anyway, Loyd then was assigned to the Belle Grove, which was a landing ship dock, and he spent 19 months on the ship. I didn't know him at that time, but of course when he got off the ship, he requested 6 weeks leave and duty in Rio de Janeiro. He decided he might as well go for the best. He didn't get, he said he got 2 weeks leave and was assigned to the supply station in Bremerton, Washington. But anyway, I first met him at a horse race over in Seattle. I had gone with another fellow that I had met, and he was there with another gal, and you know, it was just general conversation between the four of us. We had a great time, lost money, but it was fun. And the next time I went up to the officers club, this fellow and I had gone to a movie on the basement, and we went up to the club. And I said, "Oh, there's that guy that was at the horse races with us, and he's all alone. Let's go But anyway, we did. And Loyd asked me to dance, and that was fine. And he then said, about the second time we danced, I'd like to take you out for dinner. Well, great. So we went out for dinner. This was in July of '45. We were married on the 16th of November, 1945.
Woo!
When I made up his mind, he didn't have a chance. And we had 42 very, very happy years together.
Woo.
And 4 wonderful children to prove it.
Thank you.